Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck list for the Welser Wicked Spirits mid-range list that I played this past week. I really wanted to play a black-red-green variant of some kind for Welser, and I wanted to try to use as many of those kind of Wicked Spirits and crests as possible to kind of show off what that idea, that concept kind of looks like for him. I definitely think there's a lot of other different ways to play Welser, and in the coming weeks you're actually going to see a Rush variant that I think you're really going to enjoy. But this is kind of where I started. So Welser obviously on his front side has a judgment cost of all 5 colors, energizes for red. You can tap crests to produce will that match their color in order to perform judgment, and you can play Wicked Spirits and crests for fire will, which is awesome. And then you flip over into this big old bad boy. It's a 15/15, brings a Wicked Spirit into play when he enters the field, and gets everything your opponent controls 3 -1/-1 counters every time it comes into play and every time he swings. And if you have 3 different colored crests, he gets swiftness, and if he gets 5 different colored crests, he has imperishable and precision. This deck has the option to get all 5 crests out, mainly because I thought maybe a mid-range against a control list might kind of be like, well, I need to get to 5 crests and kind of stall out the game a little bit. It's a little bit hard to do, but it can be done, so was my thought there. Overall, very, very heavy hitter, and he's definitely a way to kind of do a really big momentum swing, because 3 different colors is pretty easy to do. Moving into the stone base, we play 4 Blasting Waves for the red-green element, 4 Scorched Bales for the black-red element, and then 2 of the Magic Stone of Purgatory for more black and red. Those are the kind of primary colors we want to see most often. Green is primarily for our sideboard. It's not really used a ton in the main outside of like Otherworld Dreams, so it's not super necessary. Moving into the Resonator base, we play 4 Fires of the Demon King. This guy is primarily used kind of as an early game tempo swing, so you'll play him turn 1, and then you'll follow it up with a Subjugation on the following turn. So like your opponent plays their 1-drop or their 2-drop, you subjugate this guy, go grab a 3-drop, or whatever kind of Majin you need at the moment, and then, you know, this guy deals 600 damage because he's been subjugated. So you turn Subjugate into also a removal spell while then getting yourself a really big creature. So really like this guy a lot, and he's really easy to kind of repeat use a lot of times too. Then we play 4 Fire Majin, mainly because it's a 1-drop 4/4, and if we do have a crest out there, he can be a 6 damage burn spell to even a player, which is really nice to help kind of give the deck a little bit of reach if you need it. And again, recyclable with Magic Crest of Darkness, and not bad stat line, just as a vanilla 1-drop 4/4. We play 2 Water Majin just for some draw power, and we also play 2 of the water crests. So it's nice to have, like, if you have that early game crest in your hand, then you can play Water Majin and draw even more cards. The deck doesn't have a ton of draw power. It mainly relies on subjugation to kind of find what it needs. But with Water Majin, we can at least kind of put that out there. And it's a 2-drop 6/6, so not terribly too bad of a stat line. 2 Darkness Majin. I would consider maybe trying to find room for a 3rd. This guy is a 3-drop 8/8, but we can usually bring him out turn 2 with a subjugation. So like using Demon King Fire to subjugate it, burn something for 6, and then on turn 2 have an 8/8 with 1 will left open to kind of protect it or follow it up. Is a pretty strong turn 2 play. As well as if you do have a Crest of Darkness, he can just kill a 2-drop on enter. Keep in mind it does have to kill a 2-drop, so if you're the only one who has Resonators and you have a 2-drop or less, you're going to have to kill something with your own guy if the crest is there, so just be careful with that. Then we play 3 Elixirs. She is a massive heavy hitter in this deck. The only reason why we're not playing 4 is just because I wanted to try to find room for some other things, but I could definitely see playing 4 of her. By herself, she's a 4-drop 10/10. Also, with Magic Crest of Fire and Magic Crest of Darkness, she can burn your opponent's board for 6, or just kill a Resonator outright. She does mandatory kill something if she has that black crest in play, so just keep that in mind. She's really excellent to bring in off of Welser, especially if you have the Fire Crest already there, because then Welser will come in, give everything -3/-3. Well, Elixir comes in, burns everything for 6, and you've suddenly done 9 to everything your opponent controls, and it can just be pretty much a board wipe at that point. And then lastly, we do play a one of Beelzebub. I just wanted to be able to have access to a flyer, and sometimes you can subjugate a Darkness Majin into Beelzebub or follow up a Welser play with this guy, and it's just really good having that 15/15 flying body and the ability to kind of ping off of stuff with Welser's -3/-3 counters. It's just a lot of effective instant speed use that you can make out of Beelzebub. Going into the spell base, we play, we'll start with the crest base. We play 3 Magic Stone of, 3 Crests of Fire to use as a burn spell and to turn on Majins. We use 3 Darkness Crests to be able to recur our Resonators and again turn on Majins. We run 2 Crests of Water for some draw power, and then we run 1 each of Magic's Crest of Wind and Magic Crest of Light, again, just so we potentially have access to be able to do all 5 colors, and then have this Swiftness Imperishable Precision Welser that can just kind of beat your opponent's face in. So, it doesn't happen very often, but if you are playing a control grindy game, sometimes this can just work, and you can just get a lot of advantage off of it. Next up, the deck plays 3 Severing Winds and 3 Otherworld Dreams, just because it has room for the combo and it's playing green to kind of back up, especially when you're considering using Majin Subjugation. You have cheap ways to bring out big creatures, and then you can kind of back up your opponent's recovery plays by using these 2 cards in conjunction with each other, which I think is really nice. And then we play 4 Majin Subjugation. This card is insane in the deck. Sacrifice any creature you control. Go grab a Wicked Spirit from your deck with total cost of that creature's sacrificed cost +2 or less. So you can turn a 1-drop into a 3-drop, a 3-drop into a 4-drop, or a 5-drop. It just adds a lot of consistency to make up for the fact that the deck does not have a ton of draw power. I really like this card a lot, and I think that any Wicked Spirit deck is probably going to run this card for sure. And then 4 Advent of the Demon Kings, mainly because just in case we can't get to all those crests in time, we need to be able to Judgment, so Advent of the Demon King to be able to have that mode to say pay 3, flip for free, get a lot of advantage off of it, especially if you have 3 crests, it becomes really nutty. So then you just Advent, flip over, get a guy, swing in for, have the swiftness at least for Welser. You just do a lot of damage really fast. It's a very, very impactful spell, and I think is super important for Welser. But that is the list. Let me know what you guys think. Again, this is just kind of a starting shell to kind of show what the idea of Wicked Spirits look like. Definitely think there's room for improvement, and if I think you can give it a shot, I definitely would go ahead and try it. This deck is amazingly fun, so at least give it a try for yourself in that regard. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off. Huge thanks to the patrons of the channel. You see their names on the screen here, some of them, and the rest are down below in the description for their support of the channel and the content. If you want to get a chance to get your name in the screen here and access to our private Discord server, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon by clicking that little P on the screen. See you next time.